Hi, this is Belinda Colubriale, and this is Talking High Performance with Belle. So I'm making this podcast for people who want to live their best life, people who know that there's more in them, but they just don't know how to get it. So there's a gap, something's missing, I'm making it for them.
Is your setback the necessary stepping stone for your greatest comeback? Hi everyone, it's Belle here, and today I want to talk about this powerful topic about setbacks and how we look at them in our own lives. When it comes time for you to make a comeback, whether that be from things like postnatal depression, whether it be a different job that presents different opportunities better than before, how do you approach the setbacks that you've gone through in order to help them move forward? How do you view setbacks? How do you perceive them? Do you dwell on them? Do you allow them to consume you and stop your progress? Or do you use them as fuel to propel you towards your next level of success? And the way that we look at this can completely change the outcome of our lives. When we look at setbacks, we're presented with the chance to advance our future. And I know that for myself, sometimes when I feel like I'm struggling with something, when I know I'm going through a difficult time, I know that quite often on the other side of that is something really exciting, a higher level of awareness, another glass ceiling to push through. But sometimes I just need to sit through that setback or sit through this difficult situation in order to see the light at the end of the tunnel on the other side. And sometimes that can be quite hard to do. So I want to share with you today a couple of ways that you can do that. The first one is to sleep on it. So yes, I know you may have heard this a million times, but have you tried it? I know for myself, sleeping on things gives me a whole new perspective the next day. When you sleep on a problem, you give your brain the chance to process information differently. It can lead to fresh insights. It can lead to a clearer mindset. It can just lead to just a complete fresh perspective. So next time you're faced with a setback, I want you to resist the urge to react, as hard as it may be in that moment, and instead give yourself permission to take a step back, to get a good night's sleep, and to reassess the situation with fresh eyes and a fresh perspective. I know for me that's a work in progress, but it's definitely getting better. Step 2 is to become more self-aware. What is your current challenge or the perceived setback teaching you? Is it teaching you to be patient? Is it teaching you to show up softer as a leader? Is it teaching you to maybe take a chill pill? So reflecting on what we perceive as a setback is really crucial for both our personal and professional growth. And sometimes things like journaling or asking yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me, can really help move this forward. So if it's a project that hasn't gone to plan, if it's a conversation with a colleague or a friend that hasn't gone to plan, just bring that bit of self-awareness back and go, what can you do better in your own life to change the outcome of that situation moving forward? When we think about a setback, there are typically a few routes that we often take. And I want to talk about the ones that are most chosen today and maybe give you an alternative to those when you move forward next time. So firstly, when we encounter a setback, we complain and we play victim. So that's one of the ways. So it's easy to fall into the trap of being stuck and blaming circumstances or blaming other people. However, this mindset keeps us in a place where we're powerless and gives us no control. So a simple way to change this is by focusing on what you can control in this situation and take responsibility for that. In high performance, when it comes to control, we talk about a few things we can control. We can control our outlook, how we perceive things. We can control our character, how we show up. We can control new things that we bring into our lives. So quite often, we can control going to that new dance class. We can control hanging out with other people, and we can control the outlook that comes with that. So that's a really important thing that we talk about in high performance. Something else that we can control is our need for fulfillment. So how we choose to fill our buckets. So how we choose to fill our buckets doesn't have to be how other people choose to fill theirs, and we've got control over that. So that's one reason. The second thing that holds us back is we attempt change, but we regress. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes we try and change something, but when things get tough, we go back to what's comfortable, whether that's eating, whether that's leading an average, what we perceive an average life in our own eyes, whether that's going back to that relationship that's comfortable, even though we don't really want to be in it, but we're just there because is the grass greener on the other side? So how do we begin to change this? We start to set small, achievable goals related to the change that you want to make and be consistent in just sticking to those goals and building momentum. You can get somebody to hold you accountable in this. You can write it down. You can grab a coach, whatever it is for you that holds you accountable to help you move forward. And then we can put in the work and strive for a better future. So this is the path to true growth. So we acknowledge the past for what it was, we learn from it, and we use those lessons to build a better future. So how do we do this? We can create a plan. We can visualize. We can get somebody to help us. We can celebrate milestones along the way. But by doing this, this is the way to move forward and turn our previous setbacks or things that have held us back into our greatest comeback. So when I was going through postnatal depression, when I was going through it, it was really hard. I couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And it took a long time for me to open up. But now I go, thank goodness I went through that, because the me on the other side is a whole lot happier, a whole lot softer, and it's completely changed the direction of my life as well. So I look at it like an absolute blessing. But it took a while to get there, but now I can go, okay, that setback, perceived setback, led me definitely to my greatest comeback. So it's really important to reflect. So how do we turn our setbacks into comebacks? And I've got 3 simple steps to help you do that today. The first one is to reflect. So take a moment to look back and understand the situation for what it was. What went wrong? What could you have done differently? Maybe you couldn't have done anything differently. Reflecting allows you to gain insight and allows you to learn the lessons from the past to bring them into your future and change them. So step 1, reflect. Step 2 is accept. Acceptance is about acknowledging the past without judgment, understanding that setbacks are part of our journey and understanding that they shape us into the person we are today and moving forward without carrying that burden. So that's step 2. And step 3 is evolving. Use the lessons you've learned to evolve and grow. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They don't take the lesson, and so they never evolve and grow, and they complain about the same thing, and the same problem keeps entering their lives. So this is about taking actionable steps to apply what you've learned and to move your life forward. So whether it's improving a skill, changing a strategy, adopting a new mindset, working out what you need to do differently in certain situations, evolving is a really important part of the journey. So I want you to remember that setbacks, they're not the end of the road. They're the necessary stepping stones that lead us to our greatest comebacks if we choose to look at them that way. So by reflecting, accepting, and evolving, you can change your setback and you can change the trajectory of your life. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this useful. And I want you to remember that every setback is an opportunity in disguise. So next time you're faced with one, think about the opportunity that it's presenting you with, or the potential opportunity on the other side. So until next time, live a successful, purposeful, and fully charged life. Your coach, Bel.